Hello everyone. I'm just going to make a short video today about how the world is subjective. So I'm just going to elaborate on a couple of previous videos I made where I mentioned the world and time and being, and just make one more point about it before I move on to say other topics in other videos. And this point was how existence can be stretched to such broad extents that one can experience worldliness in a vein somewhere else. Say, if we were to imagine, we were to freeze time, we were to imagine somewhere else in existence where all of the points of reference that we have would be inapplicable to this place, because we must imagine it as a placing of such. And the easiest way to think of this is in terms of macrocosmic and microcosmic veins. So you can pretty much bet that all worlds which can be experienced will be microcosmic in some way. There's no way you can experience everything at once. And so all worldliness to any subjective viewer, any vessel passing through existence, must itself be microcosmic in some way, and therefore there will be, of course, reflections in the macrocosmic laws present there, but ultimately it'll be microcosmic in nature. The easiest way to think about this scientifically is to think of a shrinking. To shrink our world down to such a small degree, say even the most minute bacteria that we can only just see with a high-powered electron microscope. Those bacteria, those microorganisms, exist in such a different world to the one we live in, that it is, in a sense, a different world completely. All of the reference points which they would have from their point of view be completely inapplicable to those that we have here, and yet we can say scientifically that they exist in the same world. That is because macrocosmically they do, but microcosmically, of course, they're completely different. That is what I mean when I say the world is subjective. The assumption of all action, of all being in which you exist, is completely dependent on who you are and what perspective you're coming from. In the same way, scientifically, you could magnify our world, or rather zoom out. And from zooming out, you could eventually get to the point where everything again is so different that the reference points we have here down on Earth are completely inapplicable. That if you could zoom out from Earth and keep zooming out until you could see the whole universe, the world which is in that universe, would then be completely different to the world we see down here on Earth. And so this has a great effect on being, and on what it means to be. Because if you exist in a certain world, all being and becoming must exist within that world too. And so, in order for that world to be eternal, there would need to be reincarnation of a sort. There would need to be a recurrence, a reappearance in that place again, in order to make it eternal. Because otherwise, due to its subjectivity, it would just falter and fade, and that perspective would never be reached again. If you consider, for example, the moments in existence are not themselves worldly, but rather world is applied to these moments by the subjective force experiencing it. And in order to act within moments and to apply new finite moments between them, there's the source for world and worldliness, which itself must be the playing field for all being, and hence becoming as well. So I was inspired to make this video just by looking around the ground here and seeing so many insects, and they really do exist in their own world. Furthermore, if you were to compare the worldliness, or the difference in worldliness as of places, to say the difference in time, hypothetically, it really is proof that no lineation is necessary, that no progression between moments is necessary, if simple movement and a simple difference of placement can create a completely different world. That really, when I say we are passing through moments and experiencing one, then another, then another, that really is the case. We are not ourselves creating infinite moments, because to create an infinite moment, you would have to that moment would have to be frozen in time with all the other moments, making it eternal. And of course, this is a contradiction to what people say about time, because if time is ever passing, then how can anything be frozen in eternity? How can there be any eternal moments? So that's just a quick video I wanted to make. I'll make more, of course, but just a quick point on the subjectivity of what we consider to be the world.